Welcome to my American History Notes Revised. The separatist wing of the Church of England had given birth to two churches in particular, the Scrooby Congregation and the Gainsborough Congregation. Both churches left for Holland in search of liberty. The Scrooby flock wound up in Leyden under John Robinson. They eventually wound up in America in 1620 as whom we know as the Pilgrims. The Gainsborough congregation, led by their pastor, John Smith, or Smythe, and his assistant, Thomas Helwys, were doctrinally influenced by Mennonites in Amsterdam. Some claim that Smythe performed baptism upon himself and then on the other members of his congregation, having all, as was the practice, been baptized as babies in the Church of England. This produced some confusion as it was not accepted by all, and when Smythe died, there was a church split, and Helwys took part of the flock back to England, and this became the first, quote, General Baptist Church in England, officially formed in 1611. These Baptists are to be distinguished from Southern Baptists, which were formed 200 years later under different circumstances and for different reasons, which we will discuss later, along with the formation of other denominations of Christianity in the USA. Roger Williams, whom I mentioned in my last couple of sessions ago, had come into contact with these people through his relationship with his employers, although it's unclear exactly how this happened, and I find many conflicting accounts of his relationship with the General Baptist of the Gainsborough congregation. Williams felt called to New England, and because of his credentials, having studied theology, classics, and languages at Cambridge, was welcomed in Boston to preach. He left with his wife for New England in 1630. Boston in the 1630s was ruled by a court of 25 to 30 deputies chosen from membership in the Congregational Church. The Boston court was a church court, a perfect marriage between the church and the magistrates who enforced the law. Now, William's separatist viewpoint that the Church of England was dead wrong and that only separation from it put him on a collision course with the authorities. While back in England, the men of the Boston court would have been philosophical allies of Williams, but not in America, where they believed they had established the, quote, city of God or the kingdom of heaven on earth, unquote. Back in England, Roger Williams, Thomas Hooker, and the preacher John Cotton had together attended a famous meeting in Sempringham. According to historian James Erst, these men debated theology on the trip, and their fundamental differences were laid down. The famous John Winthrop, previously mentioned, will go on to say that Roger Williams, quote, hath broached new and dangerous opinions against the authority of the magistrates. His opinions were not new, however. The ideal of some Anabaptist groups that human government was inherently evil, dominated by Satan, 2 Corinthians 4:4, particularly when it attempted to enforce by temporal punishment church doctrine, was not new. Law and human authority was to be respected and followed, Romans 13, when it did not conflict with God's law, Acts 5:29. So I'm going to stop there and continue to talk about Roger Williams, very important figure in American history and also in Baptist history and religious history, Christian history in America. I hope that if you like this, you'll click like and subscribe or follow, and feel free to make comments. Correct me if you think I'm wrong. Just provide your citations. Thank you.